Hi everyone, welcome again to another Teacher Joseph video clip. I really hope you've managed to listen to or read my weekly lesson. This week it's all about the suffragettes, the women who were fighting to get the vote, the vote for the government in the elections, because up until 1928, women couldn't vote. So it was a kind of a big thing, and they had to increase the pressure to get what they wanted. And finally, they became very militant and strong. They started off with a peaceful protest, and as it increased, they became stronger and stronger. I think this is a metaphor for the way we learn language. Because we start to learn and then we think, oh, I've forgotten those words from yesterday. And then we try again and we think, oh, I'm not sure I'm going to remember this. And then we keep going. And the more we do, the less we seem to remember. And we add more pressure and we change our lives until it gets to a point that we really need to try to become more militant and combat the problems that we have. One big problem that people tell me about is time, that they really don't have time to learn. And quite simply, I tell them, well, if you wanted to learn, you would. You would make time. And if you can't, then you simply don't want to. It's not a bad thing. It's not a judgment. I'm not saying that you haven't tried very hard. But the truth of the matter is, if you really, really want to make your English better and you really are serious about it, then you will. And you can dress that up and say, oh, but I don't have motivation, but I don't have plans, but I don't have a good teacher, I don't have a good book. You can blame whatever thing you want. The truth of the matter is, if you really want to do something, it gets done. So I think the problem we have is that we've lost our way, we've lost our idea of being militant, of being able to take control and to fix and to combat a particular situation. And that is not something to be ashamed of, but it's something we need to deal with. Many of you tell me, oh, English, oh, it's bad. Oh, English, oh, if only I had time, if only I lived in an English speaking country, if only. Today's affirmation is quite simply about English. It says, my English keeps getting better. But it only gets better as we push it. We can't just learn and then walk away. We have to build. We have to feel that fire that these ladies felt when they were fighting to get women the vote. Now, they were very passionately driven. And one question for contemplation today is what was it in their minds? Why was getting that vote so important? Because as you know, these days, we're all supposedly so equal that we just say, somebody else's problem, but it's not mine. But in those days, it really was their problem and they were going to fix it. In our lessons of this week, you'll be seeing some clips about some people who weren't really so keen on women's rights. And also there'll be other clips from places of history where you can see exactly what women were saying and doing to get those rights. But that's my question for you today. What would it take to get you all fired up, to get the engine running about English? And whatever that is, maybe it's time for you to do that. Let me tell you a little story. When I was learning Farsi, that's the language of Iran, I really hated the script. I mean, really, if I could have practiced Farsi with someone that spoke English, I would have found them. If there was even one person in a community that I knew had a word of English, that's who I was going to practice with, because I really didn't want and didn't like speaking Farsi, and I didn't read it well either. And then one day I thought to myself, why is that? What is it that's not switched on here? I'm trying to learn a language that I don't like speaking. That doesn't sound right, does it? And I had to remind myself again of my reasons why I love it, why I love Iranian culture and all of these kinds of things. And maybe that's what you need to do also. Remind yourself about what you love in English culture. What is it that you really, really like? And whatever those things are, it's time to get your engine running. Now, of course, I'm not saying you have to go and, be very militant exactly, but you do need to feel the fire. And one great way of doing that is by asking yourself, how's my joy level? How's my joy level? And that is a really good indication of how you're feeling. So when you're studying, are you happy? Are you not happy? What kind of mood are you in? And why is that? It could be something simple like the place you study. Maybe your family isn't supporting you studying. I know sometimes I really feel that. I'm trying to learn something. And, sometimes our families are on different wavelengths. And I just think, I'm not going to tell them anymore about what I'm doing because they're not going to understand. And that's their thing. That's fine for them, of course. But these kind of things, you need to really be honest with yourself, because trying to learn anything, you need to be giving it, first of all, your full attention, and secondly, your energy. And if there's something there that's playing with you, maybe an external force, then fix it. But you do need to be a little bit in combat mode to do that. Be ready to get the things that you need, get them ready, so that you can move on. It might just be changing your calendar, changing your place of study. Whatever it is, you need to be pushing yourself, because it's not going to happen unless you make it that way. So begin to leave space where you can study without interruption, with freedom, with support, if that's what you're looking for, and try to take that and move it forward a little bit. And just reevaluate your reasons for learning. Get back in touch with the passion that you used to have. You might be surprised what's coming. And I hope this week you'll really be living that affirmation that your English keeps getting better. That's it from me for today. I'll see you all soon. Bye.